I am Metodey. Soon all will know that I am the Empire's... Forget I said anything.
Today we're talking about Metodey. Our newest Grand Hero battle unit is a minor bad guy in 3 houses. I'm not even sure if he was a boss in the base game, but Metodey does come back for the Cindered Shadows DLC and in 3 Hopes. In Fae, Metodey probably will get the same attention as he did in base 3 houses, however, he does bring some promising stuff. Metodey will be a colorless Infantry dagger. We do not get a ton of these, Demote or Heroic Grail. For stats, Metodey will have 41 HP, 43 attack, 47 speed, 35 defense, and 26 res. Excellent offensive stat line, and Metodey does have super boons for attack, speed, and res. You can balance out his defensive spread or just double up on the offensive stats. Metodey does not get a unique weapon, but he does bring a new inheritable. The Gainful Dagger Plus has 12 might, every turn of about 25% HP, granting no follow-up and no panic statuses to the user for 1 turn. At start of combat, if above 25% HP, grant bonus attack and speed. This bonus is equal to 5 plus the number of positive status effects active on the unit and the number of negative status effects active on the foe times 2. This weapon should sound familiar because it's the same as last year's Wind Tribe weaponry. If you missed it, the White Wind Bow got a regular version called the Lucrative Bow on Candace. For whatever reason, the Lucrative Bow was recently renamed to Gainful Bow, and thus the Gainful Dagger also follows suit. This inheritable is quite decent as a no-follow-up weapon with uncapped bonus attack and speed. Every single good status on Metodey is another +2 attack and speed, while every bad status on the foe is another +2 attack and speed. If you use the Gainful Dagger, you want to pile on the status effects. The new Astrid can give 3 statuses himself, and Brave Female Robin grants Conto 1, then inflicts Hush Spectrum and Panic on the foe. Try to get allies like them, but watch out for those anti-status enemies. Metodey may not have a brand new weapon, but he does dual-wield daggers in-game, which is neat. He has 4 unique excellent artworks, and I love me some Todd Harpercorn playing shady characters. Unfortunately, if good base stats or aesthetics aren't standouts for you, then Metodey doesn't offer much else. Gainful Dagger is good, but Metodey's other skills include Blazing Flame, Sorcery Blade, and Poison Strike. Sorcery Blade used to be much rarer, but it's also on Lapis and Candace now. It's also just not very good, or rather, it's not really worth using in the A slots. You can just use the Sacred Seal. The adaptive damage part is nice, but you do need to fight directly next to a mage ally. Unless you upgrade to their tier 4 versions, this base kit is nothing special. If you plan to merge Metodey, he's going to get +1 HP, attack, and defense. If you really like him, get one of his 3 super boons for attack, speed, or res. +4 speed sounds pretty good. For some free-to-play comparisons, Metodey is only our 4th Heroic Dagger infantry unit. While he has amazing offensive stats, with no unique weapon, Pern will continue being the standout. Not only does Pern also have great base attack and speed, but Blade Royale is a brave dagger. It also comes with breath type cooldown and grants the team +6 attack and speed and the debuff neutralization status. One of the main reasons daggers did not get a lot of use back in the day was that archers could just equip a simple brave bow for a fairly okay damage build. 7 years later, and there's still no inheritable Brave Dagger weapons. That's probably not going to change, so Pern pretty much will retain a very good niche for himself as a light version of the Legendary Shazas and similar units. Metodey has great attack and speed, but Pern is right up there too. Anything Metodey does, Pern can match it if we're talking inheritable weapons. For the other Heroic Grail daggers, Kronya has her Vantage niche, but it's a very all-or-nothing deal. Gengar did get his Refined this year. Levin Dagger inflicts speed and res debuffs and guard. It has adaptive damage and built-in sabotage to double down on debuffs. Gengar also gets 20% res as true damage and 30% DR. It's not too bad. For the Demote daggers, Metodey is just better offensively than Patty, basically a modern gen update. If you don't want to spend grails, Patty's still pretty good though. For colored dagger options, we have Cat and Comb. Lara's a red dagger from earlier this year, but she's a dancer with 35 base attack, so maybe not the best for killing stuff. If you want to go max investment, Resplendent Salt actually does pull ahead in attack. However, no attack super boon means Metodey does match him. For general playstyle, Metodey is a fairly standard offensive speedy unit. Gainful Dagger gives no follow-up, so outspeeding means a guaranteed double, and Metodey won't get doubled by free follow-up skills. You can pair no follow-up with Winter Water Sweep for an annoying, no counterattack setup. Metodey can still double himself, and he can run Flashing Blade with a 2-gun special to proc it on the follow-up. Since Gainful Dagger grants statuses, you can use ideal A skills and use Oath for self-buffing, which would be nice. Metodey can't really get any extra statuses by himself. You're going to need to rely on teammates to grant or inflict more to get the extra attack and speed from the weapon. For other skills, if you're in a heavy buffing team, bonus doubler can provide extra stats. You can use Desperation, but we don't really have many defensive perks around. To stack with the Dagger defense and res debuffs, you can use Attack or Speed Smoke. Panic Smoke's also fun. For Sacred Seals, Guard can try to prevent an enemy special counterattack. Speed and Defense Tempo is a solid perk with no follow-up, just to deny enemy guard or extra special charging skills. Unfortunately, Metodey's base kit besides his weapon is just kinda there. You can use Sorcery Blade, but you need to be next to a mage ally when fighting. Poison Strike can stack with Savage Blow or their Sacred Seals. Blazing Flame is fine, but there's no really synergy to charge it up here. If you have premium fodder, then Attack and Speed Hexblade and Assassin Strike are a lot more enticing than their tier 3s. Hexblade just requires standing the turn next to a mage ally, and Assassin Strike inflicts instant damage plus has extra true damage. As a no-follow weapon, Gainful Dagger can be run with a lot of skills. If you want to do a bonus doubler build, maybe close bonus doubler, then the No Panic, also good to have. It's not going to save you from buff neutralization in combat though. Another fun skill is Prime 4. You need 4 statuses to get the close counter effect, and Gainful Dagger gets you halfway there while benefiting from more status stacking. If you got negative status inflicted on the foe, then Creation Pulse can synergize nicely. Quite a lot of fun little customization options for the Gainful Dagger's playstyle. If you only want to keep no follow-up, then Arcane Tempest is pretty much a direct upgrade to the Gainful Dagger. You don't need to status stack as much, and this weapon grants bonus defense and res with 30% DR, which would be very nice to have on the defensive side. Tempest then provides Slang and Times Pulse. We just got Times Pulse Echo, and if you use the C skill, then triple Times Pulse is possible. With Slang, this means you can pre-charge 4 cooldown lethality or AoE specials without Emblem Art's Ring. This opens room for mobility rings like Celica or Sigurd. If you use Emblem Sigurd's ring, you basically have a budget Yuri without his foul play assist. Emblem Art, still a great ring to have though. Double Slang for 2 cooldown lethality makes it possible to double proc it in battle. For example, with Mart's Ring, you can charge lethality with Tempest and Times Pulse Echo. If you were to run Pledge in the C slot, Metodey can recharge lethality when he gets hit back, and if he follows up, he's going to get a second activation of lethality. For an alternate setup, Creation Pulse also can counteract enemy Scowl. If you're worried about enemy specials bursting Metodey down, there is the new Pulse Smog for daggers. This provides player phase Scowl, and with the 30% DR from Arcane Tempest, Metodey has a much better chance to survive a regular basic hit. Now for other inheritable weapons, we actually got 2 good ones recently. SummerClan's Small Spade can grant up to plus 20 attack and speed and breath type cooldown. Ice Tribe Flora's Ice Dagger is an adaptive damage weapon with 50% DR piercing. It also has a free follow. The Ice Tribe Dagger is pretty spicy because you could stack it with other partial DR piercing sources. With another 50% pierce effect like from the Tier 4 no follow-up or Tempo B skills, you can get 75% DR piercing on every hit. This puts less pressure on needing to have lethality, and you can go for double special procs with less intensive cooldown stacking. Arcane Void is also not bad. Metodey would just prefer no follow-up. With Times Pulse Echo, Emblem Mart, etc., you can do many fun special setups since Void has breath type cooldown with Slang. Regarding other passes, we got a free attack and speed finish war from Ephemera this month. Flash Sparrow or Remote Spur are good for cooldown or percent DR. Fleeting Echo is also another source of percent DR. If you get Arcane Tempest, you could use Potent Disarm from Saw. That could be nice with Emblem Sigurd's extra mobility. Speed Preempt can deter attackers, and Hardy Baron can let Metodey ignore enemy advantage or desperation. There is a fair bit of options to choose from. So, should you 5-star Metodey? Stat-wise, he is the fastest free-to-play dagger, and his base attack is also quite high. However, he essentially is right alongside Pern in the same class type, and Pern has a very good unique weapon. Gainful Dagger is nice, but you can get no follow-up from many sources, and its bonus stats rely on status stacking. Unless you just like the character for whatever reasons, Metodey doesn't really have different enough stats to really stand out from Pern. Pern isn't a super old unit, so Dragonflower cost isn't an issue, and he's a heroic Grail unit as well. You don't have to rely on RNG for merges like with Paddy. Thankfully, Metodey has a few interesting seasonal inheritable daggers if you got some extra 4-star copies of those. The Arcane Tempest dagger is also just made for fast units, like Metodey, who can use its no follow-up effect better. Infantry can abuse the cooldown perks of the weapon, and with emblem rings like Sigurd or Celica, Metodey can actually get in range to fire off those lethalities or even AoE specials. Metodey certainly isn't a bad reward unit, he's just not an amazing one that's going to raise the bar. There isn't a ton of free-to-play competition, so if you don't want to use Pern or Paddy, then Metodey has a spot as a modern offensive assassin. That's all I got to say about our latest Grand Hero battle unit. If you want a fun dagger project, Metodey certainly can work with many setups. Let me know your thoughts and have fun if you do plan to build them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.